As of 2019, the country with the highest homicide rates is El Salvador with 82.8 for homicides per 100,000 inhabitants per year. With approximately 6 million people, that equates to 5,000 people per year. The extremely high homicide rate in this country is marked by significant occurrence of gang-related crimes and juvenile delinquency. In 2017, 19% of brides said they met their spouse online. This industry now brings in $3 billion a year. Only 2% of the Earth's population has green eyes. 100 acres of pizza are cut every day in the US alone. In 2013, a company called Limite Zero created a 2,300-foot 7-meter international zip line between Spain and Portugal. President JFK purchased over 1,000 Cuban cigars just hours before he ordered the Cuban trade embargo in 1962. A camel can drink 53 gallons to 0 liters of water in 3 minutes. There are 50 different types of kangaroo. Over 90% of the Australian population live within 50 km of its coastline. Jackie Chan's son will receive none of his $130 million fortune, as he's quoted saying, "If he's capable, he can make his own money. If he's not, then he'll just be wasting my money." The first hard drive was invented in 1956 and weighed over a ton. Coca-Cola was invented by an American pharmacist named John Pemberton, who advertised it as a nerve tonic that could cure headaches and fatigue. The word checkmate in chess comes from the Arabic shahmat, which means the king is dead. Russia and Japan have still not signed a peace treaty to end World War II. Koi fish can live for centuries, and the oldest koi to have ever lived was a koi named Hanako that lived for 225 years before it died. The Beast from Beauty and the Beast is a creature called a chimera which has features from 7 different animals. The first web page went live on August 6, 1991 and was dedicated to information. The world's biggest flower garden sits in the middle of a desert in Dubai, which has over 500,000 fresh flowers. The biggest moon in our solar system is called Ganymede, which is bigger than the planet Mercury. If you were to see a solid form of oxygen, it would be a sky blue color. In Iceland, if you want to name your baby a name that's never been used before, you must go to the Icelandic naming committee. Many animal shelters will not allow black cats to be adopted around Halloween time because most people just buy them as impulse purchases. There are completely black chickens in Indonesia known as ayam cemani. They have black plumage, black legs and nails, black beak and tongue, black comb and wattle, black meat and bones, as well as dark organs. It is estimated that about 100 billion people have died since Homo sapiens appeared over 200,000 years ago. A group of pandas is known as an embarrassment. After Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, his body was taken on a 160-mile to 500 km tour via train. He was accompanied by the body of his son, William Wallace Lincoln, who had died of typhoid fever at the age of only 11, and buried in the D.C. area of 1862. The train made a tour through 400 train stations, and viewings were arranged where his body was on display for mourners. Pharrell Williams was fired from 3 separate McDonald's restaurants when he was 17 for being lazy and stealing McNuggets. Pumpkins, watermelons, avocados, and bananas are all berries, while strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are not. Scientists in Berlin asked adults to play Super Mario 64 over a period of 2 months for 30 minutes a day. The group showed increases of gray matter, demonstrating the direct causal link between video gaming and a volumetric brain increase. Coffee flour is made from coffee cherries, the discarded fruit surrounding the coffee bean. In spite of being high in fiber and protein, 75% of it is discarded post-coffee production. Samuel L. Jackson's performance as a crackhead in the movie Jungle Fever was so acclaimed that the 1991 Cannes Film Festival created a special supporting actor award just for him. The sun emits more green visible light than any other color, but we still see the color mixture as white. It only appears yellow because shorter wavelength colors such as blue scatter in the atmosphere, making the sky blue. Before the kale fad of 2013, Pizza Hut was one of the largest purchasers of kale. They used it ornamentally to decorate the salad bars. In 2014, a pregnant woman in India swam nearly 1 kilometer across a swollen river to give birth in a hospital instead of her home. Plastic magnets exist, and their magnetic strength can be adjusted by shining different colored lights on it. The phrase "give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day" Teach him how to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime, did not come from an ancient Chinese proverb, the Torah, the Bible, or any other such place. It was coined by Anne Isabella Ritchie, the daughter of William Makepeace Thackeray, in 1885. Around 300 AD during the Qin dynasty in China, government officials would use fingerprint analysis at a crime scene to help identify potential perpetrators, as they knew that no two people have identical fingerprints. In 1575, a German mass murderer nicknamed Pushpeter is reported to have kept his wits after being impaled. The stake hit his spine and he berated the executioner. Pushpeter commanded the executioner to draw the stake out of him and gave instructions for how to make the impalement properly. A college student wrote against seatbelt laws, saying they are intrusions on individual liberties and that he won't wear one. He died in a car crash, and his 2 passengers survived because they were wearing seatbelts. In 1770, the British Parliament passed a law condemning lipstick, stating that women found guilty of seducing men into matrimony by a cosmetic means could be tried for witchcraft. Woody Harrelson's dad was a hitman and died in prison while serving a life sentence for killing a federal judge. In 2009, archaeologists unearthed the oldest musical instruments ever found. There were flutes that inhabitants of southwestern Germany laboriously carved from bone and ivory at least 35,000 years ago. If the American president is unmarried or his wife dies during his term, another female relative will become the first lady. 3 presidents' daughters, 2 presidents' sisters, 2 nieces and 2 daughters-in-law have been first lady. The full moon always rises at sunset. The new moon always rises at sunrise. The first quarter rises at noon, and the last quarter at midnight. Al Scarface Capone got his infamous scars when he told a woman you got a nice ass in front of her brother while working at a bar. In 1957, a terminal cancer patient was given a worthless drug that caused his tumors to melt like snowballs on a hot stove. When he found out it was proven worthless, his cancer returned. He was given a placebo version and it went away again. He learned the truth, then died soon after from cancer. The word scientist did not exist until 1833. Before that, they were known as natural philosophers. Bees and butterflies can see ultraviolet light. In 1998, illegal drug use or non-medical use of legal drugs resulted in 542,540 for visits to emergency departments in the USA. The 3 most common fears are snakes 1, heights 2, and flying 3. The expression memorize by heart is derived from the old belief that the heart, not the brain, was important for memory. Also, the word record comes from the Latin word for heart. Approximately 1 in every 1,000 people in the USA has the autoimmune disease multiple sclerosis. In 2001, 8 young U.S. football players died as a direct result of injuries suffered on the field. Of these 8 players, 6 died of brain injuries, 1 died of a fractured neck and 1 died of a ruptured spleen. The movie Rain Man starring Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise was inspired by a real person named Kim Peek who has memorized 7,600 books and every area code, zip code, highway and television station in the U.S. The stapedius muscle is the smallest muscle in the body. This muscle, 6.3 millimeters in length, helps move the stapes bone in the middle ear.